Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape lately, especially to what's happening with the Detroit Lions, you know that the team is always in the thick of things, constantly evolving, always looking to improve and adapt. And right now, there's a story that's making waves, not just because of its personal nature, but because it could have major implications for the Lions' roster and their future plans. We're talking about Za'Darius Smith, the veteran defensive end who's been a key figure in the league, and more recently, a part of the Lions' defense. But here's the thing, his personal life is making headlines, and it's a reminder that even NFL players are human beings with lives outside the game, and sometimes, those lives can influence their careers and team dynamics in subtle but meaningful ways. So, what's the story? Well, Za'Darius Smith, who has been seen as a significant piece in Detroit's defensive puzzle, especially after his time with the Packers and Vikings, has been navigating some personal challenges lately. He was in a relationship with Cash Doll, a popular hip-hop artist, which drew some media attention. The relationship was quite public, and fans were curious about how this connection might influence his performance or his role with the Lions. But now, the news has taken a turn. Recently, his ex posted on social media, making it clear that their relationship has come to an end. She said, "At this point of my life, I just need to be single. Za'Darius, a great guy, but we can't see eye to eye, and with all due respect, we decided to part ways. I'm giving the internet a break, so I'm done with y'all too right now." That's a pretty candid and straightforward message, and it's raised questions about what this means for Smith's current status in the NFL, especially since he's still a free agent. He hasn't signed with any team after his stint with the Lions, and his future remains uncertain. But here's the interesting part. Lions general manager Brad Holmes recently spoke about Smith in a radio interview on 97. Won the ticket, and he mentioned that, despite the personal issues, the two sides still remain in contact. Holmes emphasized that sometimes contracts can take a little longer to finalize, particularly when there are personal circumstances involved. It's clear that the Lions are still interested, but they're also cautious and want to ensure everything aligns perfectly before making a move. Now, let's dig a little deeper into what this means for the Lions' defensive line. Za'Darius Smith, when healthy and focused, has been a game changer. His pass rushing ability, his experience, and his leadership on the field are assets that any team would want. With the Lions, he was expected to bring a lot of juice to that defensive front, helping to bolster a unit that already showed promise last season. But the offseason, as we all know, is a time of uncertainty and transition. The Lions, under head coach Dan Campbell, are building a roster that's hungry and motivated, but they also face the challenge of balancing youth with veteran leadership. And speaking of the roster, Holmes pointed out a significant challenge. Adding more veterans, like Smith, inevitably makes it more difficult for young players to carve out a spot on the roster. As teams improve and add more experienced players, the competition for those final spots intensifies. Holmes explained that the team's approach to the draft and roster management has become more competitive because the best man is going to play, the best man is going to make the team. So that means that even if Smith is interested in rejoining the Lions, there's a process, and it's not just about talent, but also about fit, chemistry, and how he's doing off the field. The Lions are in a unique position where they want to add impactful players, but they also need to maintain the team's chemistry and cohesion. And let's not forget, the Lions' defense last season showed a lot of promise, especially with the emergence of young players and the strategic depth that Holmes has been building. The addition of a player like Smith could be pivotal, especially since Detroit is still looking to fill some gaps behind their starting defensive ends. Having a veteran presence like Za'Darius could provide not only pass rushing help, but also mentorship for the younger defenders who are eager to make their mark. The challenge, of course, is timing. With most distractions out of the way, Smith is now even more free to sign and contribute, but the Lions need to weigh how he fits into the bigger picture. It's also worth noting that Smith's recent personal life episode, his breakup with Cash Doll, could have a temporary impact on his mental focus and readiness. It's natural, everyone goes through personal ups and downs, and NFL players are no different. But it's how they handle those moments that often define their careers. Smith has enjoyed some high points recently, including a memorable trip to Ghana that he described as a life-changing experience, inspired by his connection to Jeremiah Usukoromo and his Natural Knowledge Wisdom Advancement Foundation. That trip was more than just a vacation. It was a spiritual and educational journey that he shared with fans on social media. He talked about how much he loved everything about Ghana and expressed excitement about future visits. This shows that he's someone who seeks growth and purpose beyond just football, which can be a positive sign for teams interested in signing him. Now, let's talk about the Lions' recent offseason moves. They've been aggressive in reshaping that roster, adding young talent and veterans alike, all while trying to strike a balance between immediate competitiveness and long-term sustainability. The defense, in particular, is a focus area to ensure they can sustain their success and push for a deep playoff run. The addition of a player like Smith could be a game-changer, especially in critical passing situations. His ability to get to the quarterback and disrupt offenses is a skill that the Lions are clearly looking to capitalize on. And it's not just about talent, there's also a strategic element. Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell want to keep building a culture of toughness, resilience, and relentless effort. Adding a veteran like Smith, who has proven himself at the NFL level, would send a message about the team's seriousness and ambition. It would also provide a veteran voice in the locker room, someone who can mentor younger players and help maintain the competitive edge that Detroit is cultivating. But of course, nothing is guaranteed until the ink is dry on that contract. The NFL offseason is a complex dance of negotiations, medical evaluations, team needs, and personal circumstances. The Lions are clearly interested, but they're also careful. They want to ensure that everything fits perfectly, both on and off the field. And with Smith's recent personal issues, it's understandable that things might take a bit longer. Patience is key here, Lions fans, because when everything clicks into place, and Za'Darius Smith is back in Detroit, it could make a real difference for the defense and the entire team's Super Bowl ambitions. Now, shifting gears just a bit, let's consider the broader picture. The Lions have been on an upward trajectory, especially since the arrival of Dan Campbell and the front office's focus on building through the draft and strategic free agency. They've made significant strides last season, finishing with a solid record and showing resilience in close games. The defense was a big part of that success, and having someone like Smith who can bring immediate impact would be a huge boost. The team is hungry, motivated, and determined to take that next step toward playoff success and ultimately Super Bowl contention. Moreover, the Lions' fan base is more passionate than ever. They've seen the team's growth firsthand, and they're eager to see this roster fully come together. The city of Detroit, with its rich sports history and passionate fans, deserves a team that competes at the highest level, and adding a veteran like Za'Darius Smith could be part of that puzzle. The team's management understands the importance of experience, especially in high-pressure moments, and Smith's leadership on and off the field could be exactly what the Lions need to push over the edge. And let's be honest, Lions fans, the excitement is tangible. Every offseason move, every rumor, every signing, and every player storyline adds to the anticipation of what's to come in the upcoming season. The potential addition of Smith, if it materializes, could energize the entire team and fan base, giving them that extra edge of confidence heading into training camp and beyond. The Lions are positioning themselves as serious contenders, and this storyline is just another chapter in their ongoing quest for greatness. So as we wait for more updates, remember that the NFL offseason is full of twists and turns, and sometimes the biggest moves happen in the most unexpected ways. One thing is clear, Detroit is not backing down. They're building a roster that's hungry, talented, and ready to compete at the highest level. The story of Za'Darius Smith is just one piece of this puzzle, but it's a piece that could have a ripple effect, shaping the team's future for years to come. Lions fans, stay tuned because this is just the beginning of what could be an exciting ride. And with that, let's see how everything unfolds in the coming weeks because the best is yet to come for the Detroit Lions. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. Do you think Za'Darius Smith will be back in Detroit? Do you believe his personal situation might affect his performance or his signing? Or are you simply excited about the potential impact he could have on this already talented roster? Whatever your thoughts are, we want to hear them. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and all the latest Detroit Lions news. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting this incredible team as they chase their dreams of another Super Bowl run. Thanks for being part of this journey, Lions fans. Your loyalty and passion make all the difference. Until next time.